speechless. It all started one quiet evening. I was sitting in the living room, scrolling through old photos on my phone, reminiscing about the early days of my marriage with Sara. We had been married for 6 years, and while life had its ups and downs, I thought we were happy. At least, I believed we were. That evening, however, changed everything I thought I knew. Sara had left her laptop open on the dining table. It wasn't unusual. She often worked late and left things scattered. But as I walked past, a notification popped up on the screen. It was a message from someone named Adil that simply read, "Last night was unforgettable. Can't wait to see you again." My breath caught in my throat. At first, I tried to convince myself it must be work-related or an inside joke I didn't understand. But the tone of the message stuck with me, gnawing at the edges of my mind. Unable to resist, I sat down and clicked on the message thread. What I found wasn't work-related at all. They weren't just messages. They were confessions of love, plans for secret meetings, and even photos of them together. Adil wasn't just a friend or coworker. He was someone Sara had been hiding from me. My hands trembled as I read the words, each one like a knife in my chest. I felt anger bubbling up, but beneath it was a crushing sadness I couldn't shake. I closed the laptop and sat in silence for what felt like hours. My mind raced with questions. How long had this been going on? Did she still love me? Was our life together nothing but a lie? I replayed every interaction with Sara from the past few months, searching for clues I had missed. Had she been distant? Preoccupied? I couldn't remember. Maybe I hadn't wanted to notice. That night, Sara came home late. She greeted me with a smile, kissed me on the cheek, and asked about dinner, as if nothing was wrong. I forced a smile in return, unsure of how to confront her. Part of me wanted to scream, to demand answers, but another part of me was terrified of what she might say. What if she admitted she didn't love me anymore? What if this was the end of everything? The next day, I made a decision I never thought I'd make. I followed her. She said she had a meeting with a friend, but instead, I watched her walk into a small cafe and sit across from Adil. They talked and laughed, completely at ease with one another. It felt like watching a movie I wasn't supposed to see, a painful glimpse into a world I didn't belong to. I wanted to march in and confront them both, but my feet felt like they were glued to the pavement. Instead of confronting her, I decided to take a different approach. Over the next few days, I began to distance myself emotionally. I stopped initiating conversations, stopped asking how her day was, stopped making plans for the two of us. I wanted to see if she'd notice, if she'd care. But she didn't. She seemed distracted, lost in her own world, and it only deepened the wound inside me. One evening, when Sara was out, I wrote her a letter. I poured my heart onto the page, laying out everything I knew and how it had shattered me. I told her I still loved her, but I couldn't ignore the betrayal. I left the letter on the dining table with her wedding ring beside it and packed a bag. I needed space, time to think about what I wanted and whether I could ever forgive her. When Sara came home and found the letter, she tried calling me, but I had turned off my phone. I stayed with a close friend, confiding in him for the first time about what had happened. He offered advice and support, but ultimately, he reminded me that the decision of what to do next was mine alone. I spent 3 days in solitude, replaying our entire relationship in my mind. On the 4th day, Sara reached out through my friend. She wanted to meet and explain. Reluctantly, I agreed, though I wasn't sure if I was ready to hear what she had to say. When we met, she broke down in tears, apologizing over and over. She admitted to the affair, but claimed it was a mistake, a result of feeling neglected and disconnected. She said she still loved me and wanted to fix things, but I wasn't sure if I could believe her. Her words cut deep. While I was furious at her choices, I couldn't ignore the truth in what she said. We had been drifting apart, caught up in our own lives and responsibilities. I wasn't blameless in the breakdown of our marriage, but that didn't excuse what she had done. Still, part of me wanted to believe we could find a way back to each other. I told her I needed time to think. Over the next few weeks, we began talking again, cautiously, and with the help of a counselor. It wasn't easy. The trust we had built over years was gone, and rebuilding it felt like an impossible task. But we both agreed to try, to give ourselves a chance to heal and grow. There were days when I wanted to walk away, when the pain felt too heavy to bear. But there were also moments of hope, moments when I saw glimpses of the low,